All right, picture this. You're a customs officer. It's a completely normal day. A man hands you his passport. It looks real, feels real, it has all the right stamps, but the country it's from, it's just not on any map. This is the story of the man from Taured, one of the most fascinating urban legends you'll ever hear.
I mean, seriously, what would you even do? It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, right? But for a group of officials in Japan, this whole scenario allegedly became a very real and very confusing reality.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're at Haneda Airport in Tokyo. The year is 1954. A well-dressed, middle-aged guy, clearly European, steps up to the customs desk. He's speaking multiple languages, even some Japanese, and everything seems totally by the book, until the officer opens his passport.
So the passport says it's from a country called Taured. The officials, they're just baffled. They've never heard of it. But here's the kicker, the man is just as confused as they are. He's insisting that Taured is a well-known European nation, that it's been around for centuries, located right where we know the country of Andorra is.
And this is where the story gets really weird. Because this wasn't just some flimsy fake passport. No way. The guy had a whole wallet stuffed with documents from this ghost country. A driver's license, a checkbook, even bank statements. And get this, his passport had stamps from previous visits to Japan. So you can imagine the customs guys are just scratching their heads thinking, how is this possible?
So naturally, they pull the man into an interrogation room to try and figure this out. But the more they question him, the deeper the mystery gets. See, he wasn't acting like a criminal caught in a lie. He was acting genuinely frustrated and angry, as if the officials were the ones who were completely mistaken.
This right here just perfectly illustrates the whole problem. They bring out a world map, right? They say, okay, show us where Taured is. He doesn't even hesitate. He points directly at Andorra, that small country nestled between France and Spain. But when he sees the name Andorra instead of Taured, he gets enraged, insisting his country has been there for 1,000 years and that this map must be some kind of mistake.
Of course, the authorities start making calls to verify his story, but every single attempt just leads to a dead end. The Japanese company he was supposed to have a meeting with, nope, never heard of him. The hotel where he supposedly had a reservation, sorry, no booking under that name. It was literally as if the man was a ghost.
So by now, the officials are completely stumped. I mean, what do? They can't prove he's committed a crime, but they definitely can't just let him into the country. So they come up with a plan. Detain him overnight in a nearby hotel and figure this whole mess out in the morning.
And they were not taking any chances. They put him in a room on a high floor, way up, with no balcony to jump from. The only way in or out was the single door, and they posted 2 guards right outside to watch it all night long. For all intents and purposes, it was a sealed room.
But when they opened that door the next morning, he was gone. Poof. Vanished. The room was empty, without a single trace. The guards outside swore up and down that absolutely no one had entered or left that room the entire night.
And if that wasn't mind-bending enough, here's the final twist. The officials checked the secure room back at the airport where they locked away his passport and all his other documents. And even though the room was still locked, all of his belongings were gone too. It was as if the man, and any proof that he ever existed, had just been erased from our reality.
It is an incredible story, a perfect glitch in the matrix, but what if the legend isn't the whole story? It turns out when you start digging into historical records and old newspaper clippings, a very different, but maybe even more fascinating story starts to take shape. Yeah, as you can see, the reality is quite a bit different from the myth. The man from Taured was a real person, but his name was John Allen Kuchar Zegrus. He wasn't a dimensional traveler, he was an international con artist. The year wasn't 1954, it was 1959. And he didn't vanish, he got caught. So what really happened is that Zegrus had created this fantastically detailed fake identity. He made up the country of Taured, created his own passport, and even invented a whole language for the stamps inside. He used this identity to travel all over the world until his luck ran out in Tokyo when he was arrested for check fraud. So what happened to the man who supposedly slipped between dimensions? He was put on trial, and this great mystery ends not with a flash of light, but with the bang of a judge's gavel. He was sentenced to just 1 year in prison. That impossible disappearance from the guarded hotel room, that was an awesome embellishment added to the story years later. So if the supernatural part of the story isn't actually true, why are we still so fascinated by it?
Why has the legend of the man from Taured survived for over half a century?
Well, the answer is pretty simple, actually. The story taps into this deep-seated desire we all have to believe that our world is more mysterious than it seems. It represents the ultimate fantasy that there are other worlds, other realities, just a single misstep away from our own. We just love the idea that the map isn't the final word on what's real.
At the end of the day, John Zegrus wasn't a traveler from another universe. He was a clever con man with a very fake passport. But his elaborate lie created a story so powerful that it took on a life of its own, and it leaves all of us wondering, what other cracks might exist in the fabric of our world?